TravelJoy is built around trips. Whether it's an individual trip or one of several trips bundled together in a group, trips are where most communications with your clients will take place. To get started, you can create a trip by clicking on the pink Create button at the top left corner of the dashboard and then clicking Trip. You'll need a few basic pieces of information, such as the primary client's name. If this trip is for an existing client, you can click the drop-down list and search for the client by name. If the trip is for a new client, you can click the Create New link and add the client's name and email address. Next, give the trip a name. This trip name will appear at the top of every form and invoice you send the client, so be sure to use something descriptive and relevant to the client. You can also choose a trip photo. This photo will appear at the top of every form, proposal, and invoice sent to the client and can help them get excited about their trip while highlighting your attention to detail. Once you click Choose Photo, you'll have two options. Search our database of royalty-free images or click Upload to upload your own image. We suggest an image at least 1200 pixels wide and 300 pixels tall if you upload your own. In this case, we'll type in the client's destination and choose a royalty-free image with a landscape format, that is, horizontal. Finally, you can click the blue plus sign to add some trip details. This is completely optional and allows you to add trip dates, destinations, a confirmation number, and more. When you've entered everything you need, click the Create Trip button to finish. Now you'll find yourself on the default trip page. We have a few tabs here, but since this is a brand new trip, all of the tabs are still empty. So let's start by communicating with our client. Using the blue Create button at the top right corner of the trip, you can create a form, proposal, or an invoice. Today we'll be covering forms and proposals. To learn more about sending and handling invoices, check out our tutorial on invoices located on our tutorials page in TravelJoy. Let's choose the option to create a form. Forms in TravelJoy cover a variety of options. For example, TravelJoy has built-in forms to allow clients to update their profiles, submit their passport information, accept or decline travel insurance, and more. You can even build custom forms to match your existing workflow, which will be covered in our templates tutorial. For now, we'll choose the client inquiry form, which is a built-in form to help us learn more about the client's needs. If there were multiple travelers on this trip, you could choose to send this form to them by adding their names to the box labeled Send Form To. Once you've added all travelers, you can optionally click on the Preview button to see what this form will look like on the client's side, and when you're ready to send, you can click Next, Review Email. On this page, you'll see the email that will be sent to your client. The email, by default, addresses the client by name and provides some instructions on what they should do. You can edit this email before sending, and when ready, click the Send button. A copy of this email will arrive in the client's inbox momentarily. Once the client has submitted their response to the form, you'll receive an email notification, and the response will be displayed on the trip's Messages tab. Now that you know how to send your client a form, let's send a proposal by clicking Create, then Proposal. The first step is to give this proposal a name. If you're only going to be creating one proposal, you can skip this part, but if you're going to send more than one, a name can help you and your client distinguish between the different options. A proposal should contain an itinerary and pricing information. TravelJoy is compatible with virtually all itinerary builders, and we offer 3 methods to add your itinerary to the proposal. If you've built your itinerary on your computer using a word processor or PDF builder, choose the File Document itinerary type and add the file to the upload box on the screen. If you've built your itinerary online using a third-party itinerary builder, copy the link to the itinerary and choose the Web Link itinerary type, then paste it into the space provided. If neither of these options apply to you, choose the New Document itinerary type. You have 2 options here. You can create your itinerary from scratch by adding trip details and images, or you can copy and paste directly from your supplier's page, as we've done here with Google Flights. Finally, no matter which of the 3 methods you've used to add your itinerary, the last step is pricing. Click the blue plus sign to add the price, deposit, due date, and any notes that you'd like to appear at the top of the proposal. When complete, click Next and then Save and Review Email at the top. Much like sending a form, you'll see the email that will be sent to your client. You can make changes, including adding attachments, by clicking the paperclip at the bottom, and then send the invoice email by clicking Send. From here, the client will review the proposal and either click Ask a Question if they need more information, or click Approve Proposal if they're happy with the trip you've built. Either way, you will receive an email notification when this happens. Now that we've learned about sending forms and proposals, let's learn about the layout of a trip page. If you ever need to edit a trip, for example, to add an additional traveler or change the travel dates, click the three dots to the left of the blue Create button and choose Edit Trip. Make any necessary changes, then click Save. By default, you'll start on the Messages tab. This is where you'll see all communication back and forth between you and the client, with the newest messages always appearing at the top. You can also send an email to your client from here by clicking the box that says Type Your Message Here. When creating this message, you can type it up from scratch, choose a pre-written template from the email templates list, or add attachments before sending. Note that you can't send forms, invoices, or proposals from here. You'll still need to use the blue Create button for those. The next tab is the Files tab. This is where you'll find any files you've sent the client. Click the three dots at the top right corner of any file to see your options, such as resending the file to your client or renaming the file. Each file type, forms, proposals, and invoices, will have a different set of options under the three-dot menu. Next is Tasks. This is where you'll see all tasks associated with this trip. If you've already created an invoice for this trip, you'll see automatically generated reminder tasks in the list already. To manually add a task, type the name of the task in the box provided, then click Add Task. Next, click the new task in the list to add details such as due date and action. You can learn more about tasks in the Tasks tutorial video on the Tutorials page in TravelJoy. The Calendar tab is much like the main calendar in TravelJoy, except that in this case it only displays task and trip information related to this particular trip. Finally, the Notes tab is a great place to store private, editable, time-stamped notes related to this trip. This is beneficial when speaking with a client on the phone or when you need to store vendor or commission-related information somewhere private. Type your note and click Save, then scroll down to see the note. You can add as many notes as you want. Each one will show a timestamp when you hover over the date, and each one has an edit and delete option in the three-dot menu. A quick final note. Much like you can change the trip stage and status and archive a trip from the dashboard, you can do all of these things from the individual trip page as well. Click the two drop-down menus here to change the stage or status, and click the three dots to the left of the blue Create button to see your trip archive options.